So, you all are in store for our first real ever Texas whiskey review.
We have high hopes for Still Austin.
We do have high hopes. Welcome back to another edition of Bourbon Kingdom. I'm David.
And I'm Zach.
And today we're going to review not one, but three Still Austins.
Yeah, so full transparency, Still Austin was very kind. They sent us a whole bunch of whiskey.
They did.
They literally...
Thank you very much.
We're very grateful. And also to Still Austin, they're kind of cool because they're like, hey, review it if you like it. If you don't like it, whatever you want to do is fine. Because they sent us to us, what, 2 months ago?
Yeah, it was probably November-ish when we got them.
Maybe even sooner than that.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
We're just kind of now just getting around to it.
Yeah.
So
anyways, real fast though, hit the like, subscribe, turn on the notifications, and tell us what you think about Still Austin.
So today we're going to talk about the Rise and then the Blue Corn Bourbon Whiskey Bottle and Bond. So first up, we're going to try the, it's kind of like their straight rye whiskey. So it is 99.6 proof. It is 2 years old. It's 100% rye. I think it's like $50. The good thing is about all these bottles, for the most part, they're not going to break the bank on anything, and they're all going to be fairly reasonable to be able to get.
In that way, I think it resembles. In that way, I think it resembles like Redwood Empire, where Redwood Empire doesn't try to break the bank on anything really. Even their allocated stuff is very, very reasonable. Like they just released two that were like $79, and they're like two like specialty ones. Yeah, right away, man. This is like it's got a honey cherry kind of note to it.
I was going to say a honey grape.
Yeah, like
that's wild for a rye.
Right there. Yeah, it's I guess I'm so used to just sniffing and smelling like Ross and Squibb rye, and like you get that mintiness. There's no mintiness in this at all.
No, there's so much fruit on there.
Yeah, there really is. Man, that smells really good.
A little bit of like a sweet sugar cookie.
Yep.
Man, I don't want to stop nosing that because that honey grape note mixed in with like a sugar cookie, I just think that's just like beautiful.
Now, on this, there's an apricot taste to it on the palate. Also,
and that's really good.
Just a hint of caramel in it, caramel, whatever. But man, that's really good. Like this is a very approachable rye.
This rye is actually delicious.
Yeah.
So you have some good ginger notes. There's like some good like, I don't know what it would be called, some kind of grass I'm thinking of or whatever.
Some grass.
No, it's like actually like something, and I can't remember what it is. But it's not like earthy, but it's where some of that rye is actually like popping out of. And I do agree with a little bit of the caramel. You get some oak with that.
Yeah.
Man, like that
finish. I like the finish because it's a little drying. And I always think like that. That's always kind of what rye is supposed to do, is kind of be drying, and it does that. It kind of fills that thing. Got some really good flavors in there, like a little bit of molasses towards the end of it. Stays with you just enough. It's not like anything crazy, but stays with you just enough to make you feel like you've been drinking a rye.
Yeah, I agree. So you get some orange zest, some lemon zest on that second drink, and it kind of goes into your palate a little bit. This is really good.
Yeah, I enjoy that.
So I poured out some samples. Dave's had some of this. I have not really drank any of it just because
these have been at my house.
So I've just kind of been like wanting to try them, but like I'm very impressed with the rye.
Man. So going on to the cask strength, like it has a similar. I wouldn't even call it similar, but there's a very sweet smell that comes off right at the beginning of the cask strength. But it's a different smell than what the regular is. It's like just a hair different, whatever that is. It's more of a.
So really quick, this is their this is their cask strength rye whiskey. It's 116 proof. Again, it's like 2 years old. It's also 100% rye. Price point for this is like $65. So again, solid price point
for a cask strength. Yeah.
This is like a pie. I get like a pie crust right off the bat.
Yes, there was.
Get a little bit of like a cinnamon bread note. A little bit of lemon, orange. This one to me has a lot more of like what you would think you'd get out of a rye.
Yeah.
Like where this one doesn't drink hardly like a rye to me until you start drinking on it.
Yeah.
For a while, this one comes off more like a rye to me.
Now this one, dude, that is almost like a peach pie, like a peach cobbler of sorts. Like there's just a peachiness right on the front end of it, of that palate, and then
I would say apple pie, but yeah, I agree with you. That there's like a pie crust note on there that wants to hang around.
And I like the baking spice and stuff that kind of gets you right at the back of your throat, and going into the finish. I just think like
these are incredibly sweet. Like these come off very much like it's a little different, but they you would say they're like a cousin to like a Kentucky rye, where they are very bourbon friendly.
Yeah.
Like, you know, whiskey, bourbon, like friendly kind of like drinkers for ryes. And that, it's really good.
Oddly to me, this is easier to, like an easier, smoother drink than this one. For some reason to me, I mean, both are great. Honestly, both are really good. This one just seems a little bit rounded in its palate. Like it's just kind of smooth, and really easy to drink through that at 116 proof. Man, that's pretty good. That's pretty cool.
There's also like a really nice like lemon like pie note on there as well. I can't get away from like the pie crust.
Yeah, no, I think the pie crust is.
You also on the back end of it, you get a lot of baking spice. You get a little bit of mint on there as well.
Yeah, just a hair, not a ton. Not a ton at all. All right, so this is the
really good ryes.
Yeah,
like out of all seriousness, really impressed with the ryes.
All right, this is the Bottle and Bond, the Blue Corn bourbon whiskey. This is 100 proof. This is at least 4 years aging. The mash bill is 26 blue corn, 25 white corn, 5% malted barley, and 44% rye. And it comes in at a whopping $72. So again, this is this is like one of their, not allocated, but it's one of their specialty releases.
Yes, I think.
And so because it's a specialty release, like sometimes you would expect that to be more, but it's $72 to $73, $75. It's a good deal for their upper tier release. So I think that's pretty cool. Like that they don't want to break the bank with it. This is accessible and they want this to be in people's hands, which I appreciate.
Yeah. So I get a graham cracker note.
Yeah, I get that note too, for sure.
I get like a pancakey kind of maple syrup note.
Yeah.
And there's almost like a Kool-Aid note to it.
I was literally just getting ready to say, like, it has kind of a Kool-Aid smell to it. And that's not a bad thing. Again, the sweetness that they have achieved, even just with these three in general.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of shocked about. Like, honestly, look, full transparency, have not been a huge fan of Texas whiskey. Have not owned or had a lot of great Texas whiskey. I'm not saying there isn't. Like, obviously, I've just drank these two ryes, thought they were great. But I'm really shocked because I would have never thought that this would have came from Texas.
Yeah, no.
Not with that climate and everything else that they have.
Yep.
I would have thought this would have been, this comes off Kentucky, Tennessee, Indiana, something like that where you get hot summers and cold winters.
Yeah.
That's what that comes off as to me.
The oak on the palate, I like. There's a, I don't know what it is. There's always, sometimes there's this part on a palate that I get confused about what it is because it like wants to coat the top of my mouth, the roof of my mouth, and I can't pinpoint what that flavor is. And it happens sometimes with me that I just can't put my finger on what that flavor is.
So on the palate, I wanted to make sure I'm cleaning off my palate for him, but I think it kind of came off. And well, let me try it again. To me, yeah, it hits right there. It's like if you stacked a really fresh chocolate chip cookie and a really fresh brown sugar cookie, and you had like a little bit of like caramel drizzle, chocolate drizzle, and you smash them all together and ate it. That's what it is.
Yeah, going back to the nose again, like after tasting it, like that caramel comes off on the nose after going to it. Man, that's
not a ton on the finish.
No, not a ton. There's a baking spice, like a little bit of spiciness right towards it, but then it just kind of fades down. Yeah. So the finish isn't very long, but
no. And I agree a little bit with the baking spice there. It just there's honestly just not a ton on that finish.
No.
But this one does have much more of a darker profile, where these two were much more fruity.
Yeah.
And light. This one does have a darker kind of profile.
Yes. I agree with that. There's a little bit of that malted barley, I think, that comes through. I think that might be what it is in the palate. I feel like sometimes that malted barley like coats the top of my, the roof of my mouth, and sometimes it's the overarching kind of, I don't want to say sour because that's not the right word. Mm. It's not a Dickel sour. It's like, or it's just the malted side of that.
A little bit of that Kool-Aid note does come from that as well. So there's a little bit of like a Kool-Aid, like cherry grape suicide that you would do.
Yeah.
That's what that mixture would be.
I could see that for sure. All in all, we're not a mouthpiece for anybody. If you all know us by now, you know our channel. We try to be as honest as we possibly can be. We don't want to be mean. We don't want to be cruel. But we also like to tell the truth about things. Like, this is good.
Yeah,
all three of these are good.
Honestly,
I'm not disappointed in any one of them.
Yeah, I think all three of these are really good. Which order would you have them in? If you had to rank them.
I think I would go the Cask Strength rye, the blue corn, and then the rye.
So I think we're obviously different. I would do this one first. Mm-hmm. Then I think I would just go in order. I think I would do the standard or the straight rye whiskey, then Cask Strength, then this. I think they're all three.
Yeah, really they're all. You're not going to go wrong with any one of those. And again, you're not going to break the bank with any of these. And so, like, for yourself, if you're looking for things to add to your bar that are unique, like the labels and like just the packaging in general, like the packaging in general and all that stuff. Like, this is cool stuff to have on your bar.
I agree.
And like tells a story. People's eyes are gonna be drawn to all of these because they just have such unique labels to them. A lot like, again, I compare them to Redwood Empire in a lot of ways. Just your ability to create eye-pleasing bottles that people want to look at and kind of like you're going to pick it up and look at it because there's a depth to it, and then you get to try the whiskey inside, and it's equally as good. So
it's also the fact that it's young.
Yeah,
and I get with that climate, that can help and stuff. But I'm honestly fascinated by them right now as I'm sitting here thinking about it for how young they are in the product, in the quality of product that I'm drinking right now. I think they're great. I think if you're really wanting to look at a craft whiskey, I think Still Austin would qualify as a craft whiskey.
And they're not going to break your bank.
Exactly. So, but anyways, I recommend them.
All buys for me. All three.
Yeah, I don't think any of these are missed. So, very impressed. Still Austin.
All right.
Stuff. We will be doing another one of these at some point in time.
Yeah.
Because we have the bourbons and another bottle and bond to look at reviewing.
For sure. Excited. Till next time.
We'll see you.
We'll see you.